Are you sick and tired of trying every diet, every workout routine, every supplement, only to never actually get lean? Even if you get lean, you don't stay lean. I'm gonna go over 4 underrated habits that are gonna help you not only get lean, but also gonna help you stay lean. The first underrated habit I want you to focus on is walking. Walking can be done anywhere, it's low impact and has a ton of health benefits. Set a goal of 8 to 10,000 steps, but first look at where you're currently at. If you're only getting 3,000 steps a day on average, then slowly work yourself up to 5,000, then 7,000, then you can go between 8 to 10,000. 8 to 10,000 is not a magical number, but if you get 10,000 steps in one day, for example, you can burn between 400 and 600 extra calories. That's going to help you stay in a calorie deficit a lot easier. And most of the studies have found health benefits around the 8,000 mark. That's 8,000 steps a day. Look, I get it. Taking an hour out of each day to go for a walk sounds daunting. It doesn't sound possible, especially if you live in the UK like myself. Some days it's like super rainy. You can still go out for a walk, but going out for an hour can be a bit of a stretch. So here are some ways you can get those 10,000 steps in. And you can use a combination of these. So say like walking to the gym, walking to and from the gym, if the gym's like within a 20-minute distance from you. I know that's getting outside, but walking before the workout, walking after the workout. So do like 10 minutes on treadmill before, 10 minutes on treadmill afterwards, walking in between your sets, walking when you're taking like a phone call. So if you're taking like a work phone call that doesn't require you to be on video. And then there's obvious ones like taking the stairs instead of the elevator whenever possible. What you can also do is get a standing desk. That's going to increase your step count. Or better yet, if you want to invest in a walking pad, I've dropped a few links below to some walking pads I recommend. You can get that and walk while you're checking your email in the morning or while you're just doing some work in general. It depends. I would obviously suggest doing it at a very slow pace to begin with until you get used to it, but that's another way you can incorporate steps just as part of your daily routine. The second habit I would like you to focus on is planning a weekly menu. Sit down on a Sunday, spend like 5 to 15 minutes, however long it takes you, to plan breakfast, lunch and dinner for the whole week. It doesn't mean you have to make it and put it in Tupperware. You can do that. That's an option, but at least stock up, go to the shops, get the ingredients you need, make sure they're simple recipes. It could be just like having the same breakfast every day or a very similar breakfast every day, very similar lunch, and just mixing it up at dinner time when you have a bit more time. That's completely up to you how you structure it, but make sure you have the ingredients, you're stocked up. And I do this with all my clients. Follow the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time you'll be sticking to that sort of plan, and 20% of the time you can have something out. You can deviate from that. You can have like a treat, like a piece of cake, something that's outside of that plan. But if you have a plan of what you're going to eat, you're way more likely to stick to it. And what a lot of people do, even like myself, I've been eating the same breakfasts, like the same 3 breakfasts, like in rotation, because I change them slightly for the last like 5 years. Don't worry, I'm not saying you have to eat the same breakfast for the rest of your life, but what I'm saying is find a breakfast you like, stick with it for anywhere between 1 to 4 weeks, maybe even beyond, and then you can make like slight edits to it. That's going to take a lot of the decision fatigue out. It's going to put it pretty much on autopilot and make it much easier for you to stick to the plan. And no, it's not going to get boring because you can change it up when you want to change. But trust me, even people that are not following a plan end up eating more or less the same things for lunch and breakfast like most days. Just look at your work colleagues that eat, even ones that are not following a plan, look at them and you'll see the pattern. And you can set up your own habits by creating a weekly menu, chopping and change it when you get bored, and still having that 20% of the time where you're eating pretty much whatever you want within reason. If you want to cook some things in advance and save some time, but you don't want to prepare the full meals in advance, you can cook up potatoes and store them in Tupperware. You can cook up protein like chicken breasts or like salmon fillets or some beef or something along those lines and store them in Tupperware in the fridge. I personally like to use glass containers, and I've dropped some links in the description so you can get your hands on your own. It just means you're not having those plastics from the plastic containers leach off into the food, which can over time have some negative effects on the body. Number 3, Bigger meals, no snacks. But Adam, I was told that eating little and often speeds up your metabolism. It does not speed up your metabolism. That was based on the tiny boost in the amount of calories you burn because of the food you just ate, because of the digestion. That's not going to have any significant impacts on your overall fat loss and like helping you get lean and stay lean. I actually take preference for eating 3 to 4 meals a day that are bigger. What that's going to do is reduce your eating frequency, leading to less opportunities to overeat. Because even if you have healthy snacks like fruit, you have nuts, you have snack bars, but they're portion controlled and it fits within your calorie allowance, then you're just training yourself to be hungry more often. You train yourself to be hungry at specific times, those snack times, and then when you're out and about, you don't have your snacks with you, then you pick up some snacks on the road. Those snacks are between 250 and 500 extra calories, and that's not what you want. That's gonna train you to be wanting food more frequently. Your meal should be based around whole foods, protein, vegetables, and carbs. Yes, I said carbs. I would be going for more filling source of carbs like potatoes in these meals over rice. You can of course have rice, but potatoes are a lot more filling than rice. So for example, the plate could look 40% vegetables, 25% protein, 25% like something like potato, let's use potatoes as example, and then 10% fat. And that plate, so bigger meals that are built around whole foods, protein, vegetables, and carbs. If you're having meals that are built around whole foods, you'll be fuller for longer, leading to less chances of overeating, and you'll have a nice sustained energy throughout the day. If you're still hungry, say after dinner, what you can do is you can have a lower calorie dessert. So like a Greek yogurt mixed with some fruit and honey, or you could have like a low fat or low calorie ice cream. You could have like a low calorie jelly. You could have like a miso soup. Miso soup's not really like dessert. You can actually tag the miso soup on at like the beginning of the meal, so before the meal, and then you have the meal, you'll be slightly more full, and then you can have like a jelly to finish that meal, for example. That will mean that you're gonna most likely be full because your stomach can only handle a certain amount of volume at any given time. The fourth and final overlooked habit is cutting out alcohol. When I first cut out alcohol, I felt a lot better. My mood was better, my energy was a lot better, my sleep was better, my recovery was better. Also, my consistency with my nutrition and training was better too. Also, by consuming alcohol, you're making it harder for yourself to get in a calorie deficit because drinking your calories is a lot easier. Let's take one average glass of wine, for example. You're looking at around 150 calories. You have 2 to 3 glasses of wine. Let's say you have it 3 times a week. That's an extra 900 to 1,350 calories a week. Even if that fits in your plan, you'll be a lot hungrier because you have less food to eat. That's really all I wanted to cover. Try implementing these habits one at a time, and I promise you'll be a lot easier for you to get lean. It'll be a lot easier for you to get in a calorie deficit and stay in a calorie deficit because of these things. Like walking is going to help you get in a calorie deficit easier. So is cutting out alcohol. So is planning your meals in advance, making sure you have a menu, and so is ditching those snacks. As always, if you have any questions at all, comment below. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.